On to debate number 2. After a wrap from the Supreme Court, SBI in fact has shared the electoral bond data with the Election Commission of India, which has now been made public. Now we know who donated how much, on which date, and how much each political party encashed. However, the direct correlation between the donors and the parties that encashed the bonds remains undisclosed, which led to a second rap to the SBI from the top court. The SBI has now been directed to disclose the complete data. Now, if we take a quick look at the top donors, we find that a company called Future Gaming and Hotel Services is at the top of the charts with donations worth an eye-watering 1,368 crores. The next is Mega Engineering and Infrastructure Limited at about 900 crores. I think this figure is a little higher, around 960 if I'm not mistaken. Quick Supply Chain Private Limited is at 410. Vedanta Limited at 400. Haldia Energy Limited at 377 crores. Let's also tell you which parties were the top encashers. The ruling BJP is at the top of this list with 6,060 crores, followed by the TMC at 1,609 crores, and then the Congress at 1,421. The BRS is next with 1,214 crores. That's 1,214 crores. Now, though names of opposition parties are also there in the list released by the ECI, the Congress cries foul, claiming that there is fixing and has demanded a freezing of BJP's accounts and a probe at the highest levels. Listen in to the political reactions.
जो लिस्ट दिया गया है कंपनियों का, जिन कंपनियों ने इलेक्ट्रल बॉन्ड खरीदी है, उसका हमने काफी विस्तार से विश्लेषण किया है और हम 4 नतीजे में पहुंचे हैं। ये जानकारी से बिल्कुल साफ हो जाता है कि चंदा दो, धंधा लो।
Our account is closed, their account is open. I demand an inquiry at highest level, and unless the truth is come out, their accounts should also be freezed.
जितने प्रांतों में कांग्रेस की सरकार है या टीएमसी की सरकार है या डीएमके की सरकार है, उन सरकारों ने उन राज्यों में भारतीय जनता पार्टी से ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रोनिक बॉन्ड लिया है। इसलिए ये कहना गलत है। सारा काम पारदर्शिता के साथ और खुलेपन के साथ हुआ।
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 2 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, joining us on the show at this moment are Professor Monajit Mandal, political analyst who leans towards the TMC. Abbas Haider, spokesperson of the SP, is with us. Siddharth Yadav, Ishkaran Bhandari continue to be with us, as does Kamruzaman Chaudhary, political analyst. And I'm going to start with you on this debate. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, the question is this. The biggest donor is Santiago Martin, a person whose son-in-law is a member of the VCK, which is an India Bloc member. There are also charges of the linkages of Santiago Martin, though in this particular case, perhaps the transactions don't conclusively prove that he has some ties with the DMK as well. Now, this is something that the Congress party should perhaps be reflecting upon, because it's all very well to lay charges at the BJP, but even within the opposition ranks, there are questions.
Yeah, Madhav, after the disclosure of the biggest scam in the world's history, if at all the political parties have to disclose all their details of this electoral bond, and the courts needs to establish any quid pro quo on these accounts. You have cited one example. Let me cite you another specific example to counter this, because if DMK is at guilt of taking money through electoral bonds and giving some favor to them, then TMC is also guilty of taking money from Keventers. BJP is also guilty of taking money from something. But every aspect of this need to be investigated. That's my first point. Second point, coming to the specific example. You know, when the mega group of companies, payment of 966 crore was labeled in their account books as expenses. You know what does that mean? That means it is directly deducted from their income, resulting in a net loss of 33% of corporate tax, equivalent to around 290 crores. And whose 290 crores have been cheated out here? That's the government's, the public's money that has been cheated out here. And who benefits from this? needs to be established. Because I am on national television, I will not say that Mega Group had donated to only BJP or only to XYZ party. But this is a loot and scoot formula that was established by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Third point, understand the chronology of the entire thing. First, they brought in the Notebandi out here in 2016, squeezed off all the floating money of the political parties. I don't say that it was a good thing to have liquid cash in the party offices. But then after that, they immediately brought in the electoral bonds out here. When they were asked to declare the bond details, they took exorbitant time of
SBI. No, there are very many points in this. There are many points to debate. But let me start off. Please, Mr. Chaudhary, please bear with me. There's a limited time debate. Yes. Let me bring in Ishkaran on that point. Ishkaran, the 3 charges that were made this morning, 4 in fact, by Jairam Ramesh, at least 3 of them have been referred to by Kamruzaman Chaudhary. The allegation of Hafta Vasuli, the allegation of Quid pro quo, and the allegation of kickbacks. Of course, Jairam has cited certain instances where he refers to certain companies getting huge benefits after their donation. Also, in certain cases, when there are certain persons or institutions under investigation, then the donors start donating after raids. These are 2 instances that have been cited on record by the Congress party. Please respond to that, Ishkaran.
Yes. Yes, Madhav, because a new law was brought in of electoral bonds, let us first, before every law comes, we have to identify why the law was needed to be brought. So from 1947, where there was a Congress era, were elections transparent? Was there no political corporate funding? Was every detail known to people? One short answer is forget everything. As recently as 1992, the Congress may not respect Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, but the reality is he was Prime Minister and there was allegation that Harshad Mehta gave 1 crore in a briefcase and then became a big controversy, if you remember, whether 1 crore can fit into a briefcase or not. So that is the political funding model in India till this law came into. So we had to clean up cash from the system. So let's be very clear what the system was when this was brought in, what it was sought to address. Now let me come to the second point. The second point is the figures on your screen. BJP got 6,000 crores and TMC, a one state party, has 1,600 crores. BRS, a one state party, has 1,200 crores. So if you divide it by any ratio, how many state governments BJP has? Because that means the people there have voted for it and also people living there want to contribute to it. That's a very common thing. If you get 20 crore votes,
how are you allowing this logic?
One by one, please, one by one.
And if you, 1 second, Madhav, I need to finish my point.
Irrational.
So
make your point, quickly complete your comment, please.
Out here on television at least.
1 second, Mr. Chaudhary, you've spoken, you've had your turn, others have not even started speaking, please don't interrupt.
Yes. Madhav, if 20 crore people are willing to vote for a political party, potentially out of the 20 crore people, many are willing to donate to the party. If only 2 crore people are willing to vote for a party, the pool of potential donors is also necessarily small.
Okay.
This is a common sensical
Got your point. Let Professor Mandal respond to that. Professor Mandal, being a party that's largely restricted to one state, the pool of donors, population of the donors, voters, etc. is much smaller, and therefore the kind of proportion of the electoral bonds that the TMC has gained are perhaps many more than the magnitude of the voters in that particular state is one point being made. The other point being made by Kamruzaman Chaudhary is of course the larger question as far as the Caventer electoral bonds are concerned. There are some concerns there as well as to the manner in which the benefits that perhaps those companies or corporates would have got in exchange for those electoral bonds.
So while vexing eloquently the previous speaker supporting BJP is missing one very important point, that the companies which are being raided by CBI, ED today are donating huge amount of money day after tomorrow and thereafter the raid stop. Now what is the equation between CBI, ED raiding? Who controls CBI, ED? ये बच्चा को भी पता है ये पैसा कहाँ के किसके घर पे गया है. There are very big companies including the famous DLF raid. The DLF company has also donated money immediately after the raid. Future gaming and hotel services. I can name 12 companies. No time to do
okay.
that.
Professor Mandal, you've not answered the question I posed to you, but since you posed questions of the BJP, I want Siddharth Yadav to respond to that. Siddharth Yadav, the charge repeatedly coming in of agencies being misused and only those agencies after their raids take place that donations come in from them. How do we explain that?
You are asking this to me?
Siddharth Yadav.
First of all, Madhav, what has to be understood is there is no new revelation. There is no new revelation in this. It is not that the electoral bonds data has come out and so everybody knows which party has received what and which corporation has given out what. It is all white money. It is all bank account transactions. It is all check RTGS money.
No, but
Everybody
white money
knows.
does not
We
mean
as a
that there is no
political
quid pro
party,
quo.
our accounts
Siddharth
are out in
Yadav,
the
white
open.
money does not mean there is no quid pro quo.
No, I'm coming to that. Madhav, I'm coming to that. So first of all, what has to be understood is we as a political party, it is a mandate that we have to put out our accounts. Everybody knows that these much donations we have got. Every corporation also, on the other hand, every corporate also has to put out their balance sheet. Everybody knows how much they have donated. Everybody also knows who has been raided, who has not been raided.
Okay.
Everybody knows everything.
Almost out of time, but I'm actually going over. But Abbas Haider, quick response to that. Everybody knows it's all out in the open. It's all white money. Therefore, there's no cause for complaint or concern here. Abbas Haider, quick response, please.
I will just, no, I need some time because you have invited me. I'm not here to just listen to other guests. See, the thing is, you have asked a question from Mr. Mandal. I want to ask the see, the problem is, it is right that, Bharatiya Janata Party may have got 20 crore vote, but the data here is, it says that just a dozen companies have given more than 70% of the total amount. Another thing, see, I have list of companies like SROIA, they have ED, Arsenal Mittal, they have cases in income tax, Airtel, they have custom duty cases, GMR has got ED cases, RGP, so many companies, they have got, somehow they some...
Okay, completely out of time. I'm very sorry, Abbas Haider. Yes, we have invited you, but we have completely run out of time on this debate. I'd like to thank you, Siddharth Yadav, Vishkaran Bhandari, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, and Professor Mandal for joining us this evening. Perhaps you haven't heard the last word yet, and perhaps in political season, in the run-up to that poll campaign, we'll be hearing a lot more about the electoral bonds matter. Thanks so much for joining us this evening.
The News Hour at 10 will be right back after the break.